What up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you Sunday morning, and once again, the all too familiar scenario. Here we are. Gamecocks coming off a loss. They've dropped 4 games in a row now. Lose it last night to the COVID-infested, depleted, barely able to field a football team, MASH unit Warriors, the Mizzou Tigers, 17-10. Hey, on the bright side, out of the last 4 games, we kept this one closer than we did any of the other ones, right? Yeah, so hey, that's a positive. Really, it's not. Look, last night I expected to lose that game. I didn't make any kind of hype videos where I was around here crowing, talking shit about how we were going to beat down Mizzou. Haven't done that a lot this year. I haven't really done it a lot in the past couple of years, to be quite honest with you, because what's the point in getting out here and making a hype video, a shit-talking video, and then going out there and getting your face punched in? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So I haven't been doing it. The game last night, did it go like I thought it would? No, it didn't. I thought that we would give up a lot more points than what we did. In some ways, I kind of thought Mizzou, after it was 14-0, kind of thought they went a little bit soft. Their quarterback, I mean, we've heard all these great things about him. This, they've got this redshirt sophomore, I think, or maybe he's a true sophomore. I don't know what he is. Redshirt freshman. He's a redshirt freshman. Comes off the bench in the game 2 against Tennessee and lights it up. Connor Bazelak. They call him Bedazzled Sack out there at Mizzou. He's all right. I mean, he's out here throwing the ball around a bunch of receivers no one's ever heard of outside of Columbia, Missouri. However, we have 1 receiver on our team. So, we really can't talk about 1 receiver on our team. 1 receiver. And I was, like, trying to find the game for the first, 5 minutes of it, because I thought that this ESPN Plus thing that I pay for, that I'd be able to get the SEC network alternate, right? Because, I mean, that's an ESPN network. Oh, but for some damn reason, that one won't come in. You have to, that one's not, that was not authorized. So I had to go back and reactivate my Sling TV account just to watch a damn football game. So I'll have to make sure I deactivate that today so I don't get charged for it. Because I have no use for it. I mean, other than that, it's the only channel I watch. But Shi Smith apparently got his bell rung. He had 1 catch. He's South Carolina's only wide receiver with any type of real game experience. I mean, they target him like 15 times a game. And I knew that this was bound to happen eventually. I knew it was bound to happen. When you sit here and depend on 1 player all the time at 1 position, he's bound to get hurt. It just is, especially if he's a Gamecock, because that's just the way we roll. That's just our luck. So he gets hurt. He's okay, I believe. I hope. I mean, it didn't get carted off the field or anything. He walked back to the locker room. I guess he got his bell rung, and they wanted to take all the precautions, and he could play. So there you go. So we really effectively have no receivers at this point with any kind of experience, and that's on the coaching staff. I mean, it is. It totally is. I mean, you can't just sit there and say, well, we ain't got no wide receivers. Well, we're just going to throw all the balls to this young man, and then we're just not going to be very good at it if we have to go another route. You can't do that. Why has no one else been cultivated all year? I mean, why has no one been developed? And this is another one that I put on, Will Muschamp and his staff. I mean, he was the head coach, so that's still on him. But you can't pin anything going forward on him, at least not in-game wise. But man, I'm telling you, it felt good to watch a game and look over there and not see that face on the sideline. I swear, it did. I think the future is going to be positive. I really do. I believe that, and I have to believe that because it can't get much worse than what it is right now. That team that we played last night, if they had they played with the roster they had last night, as depleted as it was, which ours was pretty depleted too, but theirs was even more so. If they had played anyone else in the SEC last night, they would have gotten curb stomped. They would have gotten curb stomped, and that includes by Vanderbilt. I mean, the majority of the other teams in the SEC, except for Tennessee, well, I mean, they looked a little bit. Everybody else is improving. They're all improving. We have gotten worse, progressively worse, as the season has went on. I like to make fun of Tennessee. I mean, they would have curb stomped Mizzou last night. I mean, they were not good. They were curb stomped, and we would have gotten curb stomped too by everybody else. And that was the battle of the toilet bowl dwellers last night, and we came out on the bottom. Bright spots in that game: Luke Doty, true freshman quarterback. I mean, I think you would have to agree that was a huge bright spot for the Gamecocks. They put him in there, right at the beginning of the second half, as full-time, taking all the reps, right? And Colin Hill, to his credit, hadn't played all that bad. He hadn't played all that bad that game. He went like 6 for 10. He didn't throw any interceptions, didn't throw any touchdown passes either. He just couldn't get the offense going, just could not get it going. They got absolutely zero running game last night from Kevin Harris after having 250 yards or whatever he shredded Ole Miss for last night. I mean, he was barely noticeable he was on the field last night. I mean, he rushed for like 58 yards, ran the ball like 16 times, so that's like a 2.5 yard something average. It was a little more than that. I think it was like 3 yards a carry. But I'm telling you, I mean, he just can't. He's good. I mean, he'll get better. But I mean, against the stronger defensive fronts, I mean, he's just not able to really get it done. And that also is on our offensive line. They're not opening up holes for him. Everybody's talking about, oh, Georgia Lions playing a lot better. No, they're not. They're not. They're horrible. They gave up a couple of sacks. Colin Hill, of course, has zero mobility anyway, so that's a given, but they didn't play very well at all. I would give them a D- grade. The center, Eric Douglas, looked terrible last night. I hope you get better, sir. I mean, how many snaps did you sail over Luke Doty's head? I think it happened twice. I think you might have had a bad snap with Colin Hill too, which I can understand that a little bit, maybe with a center who's in there, and he hasn't had a lot of reps with that particular quarterback. I mean, you have to snap it a certain way to a certain kid. I mean, it's not going to be the same thing for every kid that's playing quarterback. One here, it's going to be a little lower. It's a little over here. You know, I mean, that's an art form, playing center. It's basically, if you don't know anything about the game of hut-hut, you're basically throwing a pass between your legs, especially in the shotgun formation. When I used to play in high school, we never ran that formation ever. I mean, he was always under center, tickling my jimmies. I did a long snap some too, and that is throwing a pass between your legs. But I mean, he should have had more reps with this guy by now than to where, I mean, they shouldn't have had those issues. That was horrible to watch. But he finished like 14-23 throwing the ball. He ran around a bunch. He is a dual threat quarterback, and when I say dual threat quarterback, you know what it basically means. It doesn't mean that you're 50% run, 50% pass, and that everything is spread out evenly. You're going to be better at one than the other. Normally, they'll be better at running than passing, and this kid is definitely better at running than he is at throwing the ball, and they'll keep working with him. I mean, some of the passes he threw last night, he didn't have a lot of air under them, didn't look too good, but I mean, then again, I mean, he didn't really have a lot to throw it to as well. And then, unfortunately, there at the end of the game, when South Carolina's driving to try to tie the score, valiant effort, but I mean, everybody knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming. He throws the pick, and it was a bad one too. I mean, it's not like the guy had to fight anybody to make that interception. I mean, he threw it right to him. That was a pretty rough one, and I'm sure everybody knew it was happening. But hey, I ain't hating on him because of it. He's young. He hasn't had that much game experience, and he'll get better. He will get better. I'm actually really excited to be playing Georgia next week with this kid playing quarterback, as opposed to the other option we had out there. Yeah, not good. How bad do I think we'll get beat by next week? Probably 3 touchdowns right now, if I had to say. Georgia's not really, I mean, yeah. I mean, they're all sitting here beating their chests. Yeah, they're beating their chests over a 7-point win over Mississippi State, which they finally found a quarterback that can throw the ball. Congratulations. So it's taken you how long to do that? I mean, and have you really found one? Mississippi State's defense is ass as well. So, I mean, I wouldn't be beating my chest over it too much. I mean, I think the Gamecocks, next week, I don't know. This is the game where you're going to miss those 2 cornerbacks. This is the game where you're going to miss those 2 guys, because I think that that the West Coast JT might have a little bit of a rough time going at it against those 2. But now against what we got out there right now, nah, I mean, it's too many pass interference calls, and they're just not to that level yet. They're just not to that level yet. So, you know, today's video, it's a sad one. I mean, who likes to be 2-6? Who likes to be a basement dweller? Nobody. But there is cause for optimism. There's some hope there. I pray to God, whoever they hire for head coach down there keeps Connor Shaw on as the quarterback's coach. As much as he's done for the University of South Carolina, as good as he was when he played there, if he wants to remain on as quarterback's coach, they need to let him remain on as quarterback's coach for as long as he wants. Because you know something? If they don't, that guy's going to go somewhere else. He's going to go somewhere else. He has a coaching career ahead of him. Yeah, I thought it was crazy. He was coaching tight ends, I think it was, at Furman University up here in Greenville a couple years ago, and then all of a sudden he just quit to go like pursue private business or something they called it. And then I was like, damn, that sucks. I mean, he would make a damn good coach. I hate that. Well, here he is. He's back coaching again. You better take advantage of it. He's a smart guy. He's a winner too. He's got a good attitude. So whoever the coach becomes, you better keep him on the damn staff. That's all I got to say. And that's one thing. I don't even want to say the name. Shane Beamer appears to be one of the leading candidates. I didn't say the leading candidate. I said one of the leading candidates for that job. I think that Beamer would keep Connor Shaw around. Because, I mean, he was there with him for a little while. Anyway, maybe a season or 2. Yeah, but no. I mean, other than that, that's the only upside I can see with that, Shane Beamer. I do not want that hire as head coach of South Carolina. I feel like that is that's an easy way out option. They say, well, he wants the job. Okay, well, it's a job that pays quite a few $1 million to your service. It comes with a hefty contract. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that want it. A lot of people that want it. Doesn't mean that he should have it. I mean, he's never been a head coach before. He has been a coordinator. He has not been a coordinator, excuse me. He's been an assistant coach and on staff somewhere, just floundering around, just like just a nomad, just wandering around the desert for 20 years. 20 years. He's not been a coordinator anywhere. His own dad wouldn't make him a coordinator at Virginia Tech. And you're going to think him serious about making him a head coach? I mean, I have issues with that. I have issues with that. And then there's Gamecock fan out there who actually would support that move. There's some of them who actually support that move. That is ridiculous. That's crazy. It ain't going to work out, I'm telling you, if they do that. hopefully they don't. You know, and it's like Boom has been gone. He's been gone for less than a week right now. It's not even been a week that he's been gone yet, and it's already as if the list has been whittled down to 2 or 3 candidates. I mean, some people want Billy Napier, like me. Some people want this Jamie Chadwell guy from Coastal Carolina. And look, I mean, I agree, Coastal Carolina is having a really good season this year. I just think Napier is a little bit more seasoned as a head coach, Jamie Chadwell and the staff are also caught cheating at Charleston Southern, which Napier was a coach for like 6 years at Clemson, so surprised me that he wasn't caught cheating too, but I don't guess he was. I guess he knows how to cover it up, maybe. So there's another feather in his cap. Those three seem to be the names. You know, I think the Hugh Freeze name is kind of everybody. Hugh Freeze, he's gonna end up going to Tennessee. Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody going to Tennessee except for Jeremy Pruitt's ass. He's the only one that's staying there. Y'all got him for at least another year. Your athletic director wanted him, and he's gonna be there. There he's gonna be. He ain't buying him out. Not this year. Not this year. But that's where we're at right now. Like I said, it's like they and I don't know, maybe they are behind the scenes and people don't know about it, but 6.5 days in, and it doesn't feel like they've really reached out to a whole plethora of candidates. And you know, a lot of these guys are still, you know, they're coaching their teams right now. They're involved in coaching their teams, so this is, you know, this is one of the disadvantages of that early signing period, which is basically like your it's basically like your National Signing Day that used to happen in February every year. The big National Signing Day now is in December. Hopefully, with the coronavirus and all that crap, this year you'll see a lot more of it in February than you would have, because we need a little bit of time. That's one of the disadvantages to having to fire a coach. Is you really get shit on there as far as recruiting goes, and it's hard to keep the class together. Hard to bring anybody else in when you get into the game kind of late. But price you gotta pay. I mean, sometimes you gotta torch the barn, kill the rats. You know, sometimes that's just what you gotta do. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here, guys. Hope you have a good Sunday. Some point later today, I will recap the picks against the spread for week number 11, 12, whatever, last week, whatever it was. I don't know how I did. I did really well in the contest I play with the guys that we do the podcast with on Saturday nights. We did really well in that this week. I did a little online stuff, and made money on a couple of money line bets, but man, Rutgers last night, they screwed me. My little $25 would have gotten me like 90 bucks if they had been able to hold on to that game, beat Michigan, but just couldn't do it. Couldn't hold Michigan out of the end zone there in that third overtime. So that stinks. But anyway, I'll see y'all later. Peace. And I'm out still, spurs up to my toes up, and it feels good to not have to say fire boom.